Hey everybody, I am Cherie. Welcome to the 10K Project. This is a really impromptu live, really going to be quick here to talk about why Black people are broke and what we can do about it. So, one of the things that we hear all the time is that the Black community has $1.5 trillion in annual spending power. And yes, that is a big number when it comes to other countries in the world and things like that. However, we should have more money than that when we compare the percentage of our population to um, to the amount of assets and wealth and income that we have. So I hear a lot of statistics brought on all the time with regards to, you know, Black wealth and Black income and where we should be and things like that. Well, not really where we should be. I hear a lot of statistics about where we are, but I got curious about where we should be. And I wanted to share a couple of things with you that I think might interest you um, with regards to this. And these are things that I have not heard anyone else say before or mention before. So before I do that though, just want to let you know I am Cherie of the 10K Project. We are the largest community of small dollar investors who actively fund Black owned businesses. Funding a business can be as little as $100. And what happens is every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, we invite a Black entrepreneur that is doing an equity crowdfunding campaign to come meet with our membership and pitch us their business. It's called a Bet on Black pitch. It's really fun. What happens is the entrepreneur gets to tell us about their business, how they're growing the business, who's on their team, etc. And then you as an individual investor gets to decide if you like that business, do your research, and decide if you want to invest in that business. And if you like that business and you want to invest in that business, then you as an individual are able to do that. Equity crowdfunding is governed by the Securities and Exchange Commission and FINRA, so it is government regulated. And if you want to learn more, you can come to the10kproject.com, the10kproject.com. We have all sorts of information. This topic that I'm talking about tonight about Black America being broke and what we can do about does tie in to the 10K Project and its mission. So RB here, because of all that crazy spending, yes and no. I don't believe as many Black people spend crazy as we think. I think we see it a lot on social media, but I'm not certain about that. But what I do want to do is share my screen here, and I want to show you. I want to show you something here from Black Demographics. So blackdemographics.com is a place where we can see different information about the Black economy. And this is one of the infographics that they have. So one of the reasons, let's take a step back. The top employer of Black people is the government, state governments, federal governments, etc. The second biggest employer of Black people are Black businesses. That happens in any ethnicity. Most ethnicities are family businesses, so have family businesses, so they tend to hire family and close friends and people around them for those businesses. And when we look at Black business job creation, you're able to see one of the reasons why we have such a tough time keeping, first of all, having enough income coming in and then building wealth. So when we look at white-owned employers, they create about 56.8 million jobs, which could employ 39% of working adults. They bring in $11.6 trillion of revenue, enough to give every working age adult about $80,000 a year. This is according to the US Census Bureau from 2017. Then with Asian businesses, they're second in line. They could employ 38% of working adults. enough to give all of their people $65,000 a year. Hispanics could employ 8%, and Black people, our businesses can only employ 5% of people. Okay, so I have seen people pull this up and say, this is one of the major issues that we have within the community is we don't have enough businesses that employ people in order to pull us out of some of the financial conditions that we're in. My real question is, well, what should the numbers be? What should the numbers be? So this is what the number should be. What Black business job creation should be. So again, I kept the numbers the same for white employers. They're employing 39% of people. Black employers currently could employ 5% of, sorry, I should say here, Black adults. But if we could employ 39% of our people, we would create 12.1 million jobs, and we would have an annual revenue of $2.5 trillion. So remember I said before, right now we bring in 1.5 trillion. We need to have an annual revenue of $2.5 trillion. So then our question becomes, okay, how do we do that? How do we do that? Well, I believe one of the ways that we do that is by investing in Black-owned businesses. So the Jobs Act of 2012 was signed by Obama. And what it allowed us to do is it allows us as people to come together, put in small amounts of dollars into businesses so that they can start, grow, and I've been also lobbying for us to start buying businesses as well. When we do this, we can start employing more of our people. We can start giving our young people internships. We can start, we can have more leverage to go in and get the I think it's $100 billion worth of contracts that Joe Biden said he wants the government to start giving more contracts to Black-owned businesses. But our businesses can't do that without funding. There are a lot of Fortune 500 companies that want to give us contracts, but we don't have some of the necessary things in place in order to take advantage of it and get those contracts. In fact, I was speaking with a young lady last night. She's doing some work with a group in San Diego. And even though this big company has said, hey, we want to give Black businesses a certain percentage of business, the Black businesses are struggling to make it on the list. And part of the reason is because they don't have the necessary funding that they need in order to be successful. So Dr. Claude Anderson talks about the fact that we need to start combining our resources, and we need to figure out how to sell to everyone. And part of being able to sell to everyone is being able to really invest in our own businesses, really start building stronger businesses, having businesses merge, come together, instead of a lot of us having $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 businesses, $100,000 businesses, having us merge and actually create $10 million businesses, $20 million businesses, $50 million businesses. And I was on a call yesterday with a mentor of mine who has a $50 million business, asking how can Black people come together and start creating billion-dollar businesses and doing mergers and acquisitions that way. And we were on the phone with somebody, I can't really say who it was, but it was a top Fortune 500 executive asking this question. But we can't do that without combining resources. Resources is money and time and working together in order to do this. There's going to be a lot of businesses for sale over the next 20 years as baby boomers want to retire. One of the most successful Black business owners is a gentleman in New Jersey who has a $1.9 billion business, $1.9 billion a year. He bought that business. It's an auto supply business. He bought that business. What other businesses are going to be for sale that we can purchase? This is where we start strategizing within the 10K project. I was on the phone earlier today with a woman, and she's working with a group of people, and that's what they're focused on. We're working within a certain industry, and she said over the past several months, they bought 4 businesses. We need to start thinking about that as well. Finally, being able to also get our income up enough so that we're able to reinvest. Being able to reinvest in ourselves so that we can move from 1.5 trillion a year to 2.5 trillion a year in revenues as a people, and then being able to reinvest in land, buying farmland, buying real estate, buying other types of assets, stock, etc. Things that are going to beat inflation, because that is so essential to our success. So I wanted to just come on really quickly, share this information with you. I'm going to be periodically coming on to share this type of information, and hopefully you'll share the stream with somebody that you know, that you love, somebody that you think would be a great 10K project member. I believe we could have 1 million Black people in this ecosystem, and we can do great things together. We can start businesses, grow businesses, buy businesses, consolidate, go after more government contracts, go after more Fortune 500 and mid-sized company contracts, invest in our youth, which is so important. Who's going to give our youth jobs if we don't do it? And then be able to take that money and invest in hard assets. So that's the 10K project philosophy. Please share the stream. Please share the stream. And if you want to be a member of the 10K project, I would encourage you to come take a look at us. We're at the10kproject.com. Again, you are able to come hear these businesses talk about what they're doing, their future plans. We have some great businesses lined up over the next few weeks, and decide if you want to be a part of our community. So that is it for me. Thank you so much for listening. And again, please share the stream. Please like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much, and have a blessed day.